Thank you very much. We will start by introducing ourselves.
Ke a le leboha, ke tla qala pele ka hore re itsebise kwano mona.
We are the committee of the National Assembly,
Re committee ya National Assembly,
which is together with the NCOP constitute what is called Parliament.
yeo mmoho le NCOP di bopang seo re se bitsang hore ke Parliament.
We are the committee responsible to oversee accountability on mineral resources and energy.
Re committee yeo boikarabelo ba teng e leng ho lekola ditsamaiso tsa mineral resources and energy.
On my left, we have, far left, we have Honorable Langa.
Ka letsohong le letshehadi ka mona re na le mohlomphehi Langa,
Next to him, we have Honorable Matogwe.
ebe re na le mohlomphehi Madokwe,
Next to Honorable Matogwe, we have Honorable Malinga.
re be le mohlomphehi Malinga,
Next to Honorable Malinga, we have Honorable Bilankulu.
pela hae ke mohlomphehi Bilankulu,
Next to me on my left is Honorable Mahlaule.
pela ka mona ke mohlomphehi Mahlaule,
On my right, next to me is Honorable Zungula.
letsohong le letona plaka ke mohlomphehi Zungula,
Next to Honorable Zungula, we have Honorable Kula.
pela hae ke mohlomphehi Pula,
Next to Honorable Kula, we have Honorable Volmarans.
ebe re na le mohlomphehi Volmarans pela mohlomphehi Kula,
Next to Honorable Volmarans, we have got Honorable Professor Msimang.
ebe pela hae re na le mohlomphehi Professor Msimang.
I'm Mr. Luzipo, the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Mineral Resources and Energy.
Nna ke mohlomphehi Luzipo ke modulasetulo wa committee ena.
We are here because the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy made proposals that there is a need to do amendments on the Gas Act of 2001.
Re mona hobane lefapha la mehlodi ya di-minerale le energy le ile la nka qeto ya hore ho be le ditokiso molaong wa Gas Amendment Bill.
We then decided as a committee that before we can deliberate on those proposed amendments, we must first conduct public hearings and hear what do people say on what the department is proposing as amendment to the Gas Act of 2001.
Mme re ile ra nka qeto re le committee hore pele re ka sebetsana le melawana ena re tle setjhabeng re tlo mamela hore na sona se reng ka diphetolelo tsena tsa molao ona.
So those proposed amendments are not of the committee, they are proposals from the department.
Mme ditshisinyo tseo ha se ditshisinyo tsa committee ke ditshisinyo tsa lefapha.
We started with these public hearings on the 13th of November 2021.
Re qadile ka dinonyo tsena tsa maikutlo ka di 13 tsa November 2021.
The first province was Mpumalanga.
Re qadile mane province ya Mpumalanga.
The last province is Free State.
Freistata ke yona province ya ho qetela eo re tshwarang dinonyo
this
tsena ho
land.
yona.
We had to adjourn last year because Parliament was going on, the National Assembly was going on recess.
Re ile ra tshwanela ho emisa ka mosebetsi le mo se fitileng hobane NA e ne e kwala.
We have started this year from the 16th of January.
Re qadile selemong sena ho tloha ka di 16 tsa January.
We will only go home on the 30th of January.
Re tla khutlela malapeng a rona ka di 30 tsa January.
We started on the 17th in the Eastern Cape.
Re qadile ka di 17 mane province ya Eastern Cape.
We did 3 areas in the Eastern Cape. Then we went to the Western Cape.
Re ile ra etsa mono mabatoa a mararo ya ba re ya Western Cape.
From the Western Cape, we went to the Northern Cape.
Ya ba ha re tloa mono re ya Northern Cape.
Now we are in the Free State.
Jwale re mona Freistata.
Very quickly, we are here because the department, amongst other proposals on the amendment of the Gas Act of 2001,
Re mona hobane ka hara dintlha tse ding lefapha ka amendment ena ya 2001
is that there has to be a penalty given to an operator who is non-compliant, which is not less than 2 million rands per day.
Ko bane lefapha le fumane hore ho lokela ho be le fine ho operatora e sa ikamahanyeng le molao, mme fine eo e se ke ya ba ka tlase ho 2 million rand.
They further propose that a operator can have the license revoked or together with the penalty of 2 million rands, not less than 2 million rands per day, can go concurrently.
Qeto hape ibile ya hore license ya motho ya sa ikamahanyeng le molao e ka nkuwa kapa ebe e nkuwe le 2 million rand hape ka nako e le nngwe ka letsatsi.
They also propose that the minister be given a responsibility to develop the gas master plan.
Le hore letona le be le boikarabelo ba ho etsa gas master plan.
They also say they are proposing an amendment in order to ensure that there is effective protection of communities, environment, as well as employees in terms of the health of health and safety.
Le ho netefatsa hore ho ba le tshireletso ya ditho tsa setjhaba le basebetsi ho ya ka molao wa health and safety security.
They also say in their amendments there should be the amendment suggests that there has to be maximum participation of new entrants in the gas industry.
Le hore ho be le ba batjha ba kenang industry ena ya di gas.
There are many others, I'm sure, that you would have got to know about.
Le dingata ditshisinyo tsena tseo mohlomong le di tsebang.
We are here, therefore, to hear your views and will appeal and urge you to make your contributions so that you can make us even wiser than we may have been when we came here.
Re mona he ho re ipiletsa hore le bue re utlwe maikutlo a lona le hore le re hlalefise ho feta ka moo re leng ka teng hana jwale.
When we conduct public hearings, we then listen to what people say.
Ha re etsa dinonyo tsena tsa maikutlo re a mamela hore na setjhaba se reng.
We compile the report of all that was said in terms of the gas amendment bill.
Re etsa reporto ya tsohle tse bueng ho ya ka gas amendment bill.
Then we will have deliberations as a committee after we have compiled the report and agree that the report from the 13th of November 2021 is a true reflection of what people said in those areas where we went to.
Ebe re seka di nonyo tsena tsa maikutlo re le committee ho sheba hore na ke eng seo setjhaba se di buileng ho tloa ka la di 13 tsa November, ebe re tsena he ke tsona ditaba tsa nnete tseo setjhaba se buileng ka tsona.
You are absolutely within your rights to reject or accept those proposed amendments.
Ke tokelo ya lona e felletseng hore le amohele kapa le hanane le ditshisinyo tsena tse sisintsweng.
But we'll appreciate to give us what do you think would be a better or the basis of that rejection, even the basis of accepting the proposed amendments.
Fela re tla ananela ha le ka re jwetsa hore na hobaneng o dumela kapa o hanana le ditshisinyo tsena tsa phetolelo ena.
So feel free to express what do you think, whether they are correct or if they are not correct, how do you think those amendments should reflect?
Ka hona lokolohang hore na wa dumela kapa wa hana lokoloha ho ntsha maikutlo a hao hore na sena se tlabeng se bua mona se nepahetse kapa jwang.
Please, let's stick to the proposed amendments of the Gas Act.
A re itshetleheng ho di amendment tsa Gas Amendment Act.
We are not a committee of parliament for everything. We are a committee of parliament responsible for mineral resources and energy. And now we are here because the department is proposing amendment to a legislation which is the Gas Act of 2001.
Ha re komiti ya parlamente e sebetsana le dintho kaofela tsa setjhaba. Re mona hobane lefapha la di minerale le energy le re kopile hore re tlo buisanang ka ditshisinyo tsena tsa phetolelo yana ya di gas.
Lastly, you will see that there are chairs that are put upside down.
Le tla bona ha ke qetela hore hona le ditulo tse kubutilweng moo.
No, they are not for dividing you into this group this side, another group this side. They
Ha
are
se-
meant for anyone whom would have pointed
Ha di a
to
bewa-
make an input. You will be sitting on those chairs.
Ha di a bewa hobane re batla ho le arola. Di behetswe hore batho kaofela ba batlang ho bua, ba tle ba dule ho tsona, ba tle ba kgone ho ntsha maikutlo a bona.
Please, let's stick on time so that we can maximize the participation of those who have attended.
A re ke re itshetleheng ka nako hore re kgone ho nka batho ba bangata ka moo re ka kgonang ka teng.
So we give a person 5 minutes. If we are still within time and that person had not finished, we will give that person a second time. If there's no other hands, we will give that person a second time. But in the event that the hands are too many, we will then give that person an opportunity to take that input to the secretariat that is behind me.
Motho e mong le mong o tla fumana metsotso e mehlano ya ho bua, mme haeba nako ya hao ya metsotso e mehlano e fela, o tla fuwa monyetla o mong haeba ha o sana batho ba bang ba batlang ho bua. Empa haeba nako e sa re dumelle, ditaba tsa hao o tla di ngola fatshe ebe di fuwa bangodi ka mane ka morao.
You can make your input in a language that you are comfortable with.
O ka bua ka puo efe kapa efe eo o utlwang o e rata.
The interpreters will do the interpretation.
Ditoloko di teng mona di tla toloka.
Lastly, let's observe COVID protocol. Let's keep our mask on. The way the chairs are put, they are also put in such a way that we do social distancing.
A re ikamahanyeng le melao ya COVID-19, re dule re rwetse di-mask tsa rona, le tsela eo ditulo di dutseng ka yona, ke ho netefatsa hore re arohana ka ho lekana ho ya ka melao ya COVID-19.
You are allowed when you come here on the mic to take off your mask. We are doing that so that you can be audible, one. Number two, we are doing it because those who live on sign language must be able to read from your mouth what you are saying, not only on the sign language.
O tla dumellwa hore ha o tla mmaekeng o tlo bua o ntshe mask wa hao. Lebaka e le la hore re kgone ho utlwa hantle hore na o reng. Taba e nngwe ke ya batho ba sebedisang puo ya matsoho ba kgone ho bona hobane ba sheba dipounama tsa motho a bua, ba sheba molomo wa hae. Jwale ha o retse mask ha ba no kgona ho bona hore na o ntse o reng.
Lastly, let's respect each other, respect the meeting. The fact that someone says something you don't agree with, that person is entitled because it's his or her views. Equally, you must be protected when that person is not tolerant. You are not tolerant of what he or she is saying.
A re lekeng ho hlomphana, taba ya hore ha o dumellane le seo motho a se buang ha e bolele hore ha wa tshwanela ho mo hlompha. Tsela eo o batlang ho hlomphuwa ka yona, le wena hlompha ba bang ka yona ha maikutlo a hao a sa dumellane le a bona.
Now let's see whether are there any people who would want to make their own submit their own input on the gas amendment bill.
A re bone hore na ebe hona le batho ba batlang ho ntsha maikutlo a
Take
bona.
hands.
Le ka phamisa matsoho bohle ba batlang ho bua.
I'm not sure whether you are stretching or.
Ha ke tsebe
Okay,
kapa
there's a hand there. You must
kapa wa
come
ikotlolla
to
kapa
the
o
first chair
phamise.
here.
O ka tla ka pele ka mona wa tla dula setulong
Is there any
seo.
other hand?
Matsoho a mang hape?
Is there any? Oh, Masalese. Can take the chair here. Number two. Is there any other hand?
Matsoho a mang hape?
Okay. You can come, Tumko.
O ka bua
Just
ntate.
please give us your name and your surname before so that on record we can know who was addressing us.
O qale ka ho bua lebitso la hao pele re kgone ho direkotong ho hlahe hore na o ne o le mang.
Can you help with the sanitizer, please? I doubt the National Assembly is incapacitated. You can't even buy it sanitizers. Just, yeah.
Okay. My name is Brown Moshabi.
Lebitso la ka ke Paul Mothabi,
Brown Moshabi.
Brown Mothabi.
And I'm here to make my submission to a bill that is subject to amendment.
Mme ke mona ho tla etsa tshwaelo ya ka billing e lokelang ho etswa dihlomathisetso.
The bill must ensure private sector monopoly over the gas industry is dismantled by regulating and making it into law that the state must control no less than 60% of gas industry activities within 10 years of bill's implementation,
E telele haholo ntate.
and no less than 75% within 15 years. The department must produce annual report on what they are doing to achieve this.
Lefapha le tshwantse le fane ka ditlaleho tsa selemo ka selemo hore na ba fihlella eng ka ditokiso tsena.
And where the targets are not met, the department officials must be held accountable and possibly replaced.
Mme moo ebang di-target ha di fihlellwe diofisiri tsa lefapha di lokela ho nkelwa mehato.
The local beneficiation must be prioritized and by law.
Ho fumantsha batho menyetla ho tshwantse ho netefatswa mme ka molao.
Gas companies that fail to meet certain criteria when applying for operational licenses but have potential should be undertaken through specific programs and given the necessary support by the department to fully participate. This should be specific to businesses owned by historically disadvantaged South Africans, black women, youth, and people with disabilities. So the EFF generational clarion call of land expropriation without compensation becomes very relevant because now an individual will cease to be the sole decider of who must extract gas where and for what interest. So we need this amendment of the bill to go on. Thank you very much.
Ho hlokahala hore ho be teng taolo tshebedisong ena kapa sehlomathisetsong sena ho etsetsa hore se ka ba batho ba itseng fela ba unang molemo industry-ing ena ya gas, empa mmuso o tshwantse ho netefatsa hore bohle ba nang le bokgoni ba kgona ho ba le monyetla wa ho nka karolo. Ke a leboha.
I greet everyone in the name of God.
Ke dumedisa bohle ka lentswe la Modimo.
Let us first talk about our land, which is South Africa.
Sa pele ha re bue ka naha ya rona e leng Afrika Borwa.
Oh, okay. My name is Zwelinzi Mambobe
Lebitso la ka ke Zwelinzima Mobe
from Ward 13.
ho tswa Ward 13.
I'm a member of MCC, which is Mangaung Community Concern.
Ke setho sa MCC.
I'm here and I'm very concerned about our land.
Ke mona mme ke ngongoreiswa ke tse etsahalang mobung wa rona.
The discussion about today, about this amendment bill, I am aware that this is the heart of economy.
Dipuisano tsa kajeno ke a tseba ka tsona hobane ke mokotaba wa moruo wa rona.
The CPIX, when the CPIX is affected, everyone is affected.
Ha CPIX e ameha e mong le e mong wa ameha
It's because of this heart.
ka baka la taba
If we
tsena.
can leave this heart to stop, then we are all going to die.
Mme ha pelo e ka ema kaofela re tla shwa.
Yeah, my proposal about this bill or my suggestion,
Tshitshinyo ya ka billing ena ke se latelang.
let us all look in various points or in various actions. Let us talk about landfill gas.
Ke kopa o phete.
I said, if we look in all points,
Ha re sheba ka magalo ohle kapo ka mahlakore ohle,
if you are a concerned community
ha le le
member,
setjhaba se ngongorehiswang ke se ka etsahalang,
we all look what is going to benefit for the community
re sheba hore
And
diphetolelo
what
di
is
tlo ba
going-
molemong wa setjhaba jwang,
and what is going to benefit for my country at large.
le hore na naha ka kakaretso e tla una molemo jwang.
My suggestion was a landfill gas.
Tshisinyo ya ka ke landfill gas.
Out of the landfill gas, we can have the community to be part of that landfill gas
Ho
so
land-
that it can help our country.
Setjhaba se lokela ho ba karolo ya landfill gas eo.
And point number 2, which is biogas.
Ntlha ya bobedi e leng biogas.
On this biogas, I know, and I think it's not part of this amendment bill. So,
Ke a
how,
tseba hore biogas ena ha se karolo ya taba tsa sehlomathisetso se sisinywang molaong ona wa gas.
I would like Mr. Chairperson to consider it because it will benefit our people on the ground and create some of the jobs to our people.
Ke ne ke
And
nahana hore modulasetulo sena se tla thusa hore se kenyelletswe le sona hoba se ka ba molemong wa setjhaba
the
sa
triple
rona.
BEE, it's where it comes in.
Triple BEE ke moo e kenang teng moo.
Whereby we know when we talk about big companies and energies and all those stuff, there's no triple BEE.
Moo e bang ha o bua
You-
ka di-company tse kgolo le ntho tse jwalo ha ona triple BEE.
You can only get 1% out of 100%, which is not enough.
O ka fumana 1% fela 100% mme seo ha se a lekana.
We say, let us implement all those that will benefit our community,
Re re ha re sebedise ditshitshinyo tsohle tse tla ba molemong wa setjhaba sa rona.
but without compromising the safety of our community.
Ntle le ho beha kotsing
We
polokeho
know-
ya batho ba rona.
We know the coal, what is the coal going to cost?
Re a tseba seo mashala a tla se etsa.
And any other stuff that will cost, but the community must make sure that they live in a healthy situation.
Batho ba lokela ho ba tikolohong e tshireletsehileng.
That's what I'm asking you from you, Mr. Chairman.
Ke seo ke se kopang modulasetulo.
Only those two landfill gas, biogas.
Tshisinyo ya ka e ka tshebediso kapo
I'm sure
sekasekwa
that will
landfill
benefit
gas le
our community
biogas.
in the near future.
Mme seo
And
e
we'll
tla ba
make sure
molemong wa
that our
setjhaba.
triple BEE is working.
Le ho netefatsa hore triple BEE ya rona ya sebetsa.
Thank you.
Ke a leboha.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any other hands?
Ke a leboha haholo, ebe ho na le matsoho a mang.
There is a hand there at the back.
Ho na le letsoho morao moo ke a bona.
There is a hand here.
Ho na le letsoho mona.
There is a number 3. Can you
Hona-
bring them? Please, I did not point at you, please. Anyone I did not point can come to the chair.
Ke a kopa hle motho e ke sa mo
Eh,
supang
no,
a se ka tla dula
those
setulong.
people I did not point, I'm not going to discriminate anyone. Can they leave these chairs? Because no one must respect the meeting, others should not respect the meeting. Please.
Ha re
Number 1,
hlompheng kopano le melao ya tsamaiso. Motho wa pele,
there
tlo
was
ka
number
pele.
2 somewhere this side.
Ho na
Where's
le teng
number
motho wa
2?
bobedi kae kae moo.
2. There was number 3, the white shirt.
Motho wa boraro wa hempe e
There's
tshweu.
number 4.
Le
Who is
motho
the-
wa bone ka tsela e tshwanang.
Is there any other hand?
Ebe hona le letsoho le leng hape.
There's number 5.
Motho wa bohlano ke enwa.
Number 3, you come behind the orange. No. 3 is the white hat. Then there is number 4. Is there any other hand?
Ebe hona le
Then
letsoho
there's
le
number
leng.
5.
Le tla ba la
1,
bohlano.
2, 3, 4,
Jwalo ka ha santse a babala.
5, 6.
Wa
Okay.
bohlano le wa botshelela.
You can
Ba-
go to the chair. Number 6, they'll chair
Wa
after the
botshelela
red
ka ho
shirt.
dula
Then you'll
setulong.
come after you.
Good morning, Chairperson.
Dumelang modulasetulo.
Good morning, members of the Portfolio Committee. My name is Pedro Garcia.
Bitso la ka ke Pedro Basia.
I'm from Mitchell's Plain in the Western Cape.
Ke tswa Mitchells Plain, Western Cape.
It took me a long time to eventually meet up with the Portfolio Committee. We've been busy.
O nkukile nako e telele hore ke iphumane ke tlo itlhahisa ka pela komiti ena hobane ne ke qakeile.
And we made all attempts to try and meet up with one of the public hearings. But I also want to take this opportunity also just to... Okay. I also just want to take the opportunity to greet the people of Bloemfontein
Ke batla ho nka monyetla ona ke dumedise batho ba Bloemfontein
and also to apologize for taking up valuable time that they could have used to give input here today.
le ho kopa tshwarelo ka ho nka nako e telele le ho kotela ba bang ho nka monyetla wa beha ditshitsing.
Chairperson, we've been following the hearings, live streams and from reports on social media.
Modulasetulo e sale re shebile ditaba tsena ditulong tse fapafapaneng tsa dikgokahano e ka sitana le ho social media.
And I want to say that we appreciate the fact that you're trying to keep these sessions as focused as possible and that these are not consultation processes but rather public hearings.
Mme re leboha tsamaiso ya hao ya hore batho ba kgone ho nka monyetla jwalo ka ha o ba fa hore ba etse ditshwaelo mona ho di-public hearings tsena.
However, Chair, I'm also chairperson of the South African United Fishing Front.
Mme wa hlalosa hore ke modulasetulo wa mokgatlo. Could you please repeat the name of the organization?
South African United Fishing Front.
O ke modulasetulo wa South African United Fishing Front.
Okay. And we deal primarily with the small-scale fishes in the marine sector, the wild capture fisheries, freshwater,
Re ba tshwasi ba ditlhapi ba tswang ditulong tse fapafapaneng mme re banyane haholo
and also in aquaculture.
le ho aquaculture.
We collaborate closely with the agricultural sector in terms of small-scale producers.
Re sebedisana le ba dikgwebo di nyane ho nka karolo industry-ing eo.
I mention this, Chair, because even terrestrial mining has a negative impact on small-scale producers in South Africa.
Mme le di-mine tse nyane di ka ba le tshwaelo e mpe industry-ing e ne re leng ho yona.
Chairperson, I'm sure that you have heard just about everything in terms of opposition to the amendment bill and also those who support the bill. But today, I would really want to appeal to the committee's sense of priority, sense of morality, and sense of humanity.
Kajeno ke batla ho kopa haholo komiting e ikgethang bitsong la botho. Can continue, you can continue.
Okay. One of the biggest problems that are not being discussed
E nngwe ya dintho tse kgolo tse sa buing ka tsona
is the knock-on effect of current mining activities.
Ke ditshwaelo tse mpe tsa di-mine tse etsahalang hona jwale.
And it's important that we discuss it because it's having a terrible impact on fishing communities, and not just fishing communities, but South Africans who have been affected, whether it is chemical spills in the rivers, whether it is seismic surveys along the coastlines. Our peop-
Dirashwa tsena di na le tshwaetso e mpe setjhabeng, ka sitana le disebedisweng tsa batho ditikolong tseo tse di etsahalang ho tsona.
Chairperson, at this point in time, our unemployment rate is standing at or hovering between 34 and 35%.
Hona jwale tlhokeho ya mesebetsi pakeng tsa 34 le 35%.
More shocking is the youth,
Se tshosang ke hore ke batjha ba sa sebetseng haholo.
where the unemployment rate is now reaching 64%.
Jwalo ka ha tlhokeho ya mesebetsi ya ho 64%.
We have to do something.
Re lokela ho etsa ho hong.
In the fishing industry,
Ho tsa botshwasi ba botshwasi,
these are the factors that is leading to abject poverty in
tsena
our
ke dintlha tse
communities.
tlisang bofuma setjhabeng sa rona.
We're experiencing climate change.
Ho na le phetolo ya lehodimo,
Fishing allocations has been reduced.
di-license tsa ho tshwasa di fokoditswe.
It's difficult, Chair. I'm trying to move as fast as possible.
O boima, modulasetulo, ke leka ho bua ka pele.
Our communities are still reeling from COVID-19.
Batho ba rona ba sa tswa ho ditshwaetso tse mpe tsa COVID-19.
Any risk to the resources
Kotsi e nngwe le e nngwe ho
will tip our people over the edge.
e
This is
tla ketola batho ba rona.
the point we are trying to make, Chairperson,
Seo ke leka ho se bua,
is that
modulasetulo.
even as we discuss an amendment bill,
Ha re bua ka taba ya sehlomathisetso sena,
there has been no meaningful consultation
Ha wa
with
ba teng
communities,
boikopanyo bo tshwanetseng le setjhaba sa rona.
even as far as the actual act goes. There was no meaningful communication with our
Batho ha ba
communities.
tsebe ka tshisinyo ena ya sehlomathisetso molaong ona.
How can our people make decisions that affects their livelihoods
Batho
when
ba
they
rona
have
ba
not
ka
been
nka
properly
diqeto
informed?
tse amang maphelo a bona jwang ha ba sa tsebe hore dikateng tsa taba tse ke dife.
There are simply too many negatives, Chairperson, and we believe our position is that the amendment bill should be scrapped. Consultation should take place in the communities, but it must take place at a level that takes local dynamics into account. In
Re
other
dumela hore amendment bill ena e tshwanetse ke behellwe ka thoko hanyane, mme ho nkuwe maemo a batho ba phelang ho bona kapo ho ikamahanywe le bona ka tshwanelo.
words, in any community that you go to,
Setjhabeng sefe kapa sefe se le tla ya ho sona,
speak the language that our people speak.
buang puo eo batho ba e utlwisisang.
If it's necessary, use visual aids,
Haeba ho hlokahala,
Use
sebedisang
o-
di-visual aids,
use oral presentations,
etsang di-oral presentation,
because the experience and knowledge, local and indigenous knowledge of our people,
hobane boiphihlelo le tsebo ya batho ba rona,
is being ignored
ke hore ha ba tsotellwe kapa ba kotetswe ka thoko.
in the name of pushing through bills and amendment bills.
E le tsela ya ho susuhlella dihlomathisetso tsena hore di tjhaellwe monwana.
So that is our plea to you today, sir.
Ke
Those
maikutlo-
people who are suffering out there, you got the power to make the decision.
Batho bao
Please.
be bang ba kotsing ba teng, mme he o tshwantse be karolo ya ho nkuwa ha diqeto.
Please, sir,
Ke a kopa,
make the right decision.
etsang diqeto tse tshwanetseng.
I thank you.
Ke a leboha.
Thank you, Chair.
Ke a leboha modulasetulo.
My name is Teboho Kose.
Lebitso la ka ke Teboho Kose.
Ke hlaha Botshabelo, Ward 30.
I come from Botshabelo, Ward 30.
Nna ke na le potso tse mmalwa fela,
I've got a few questions,
le dihanyetso tse mmalwa fela,
pardon,
le dihanyetso tse mmalwa fela.
and few disagreements.
Okay. Potso ya ka ya pele ke hore
My
na
first question is that
ke Ke damage e jwang hore be recorduwe hore motho a ba qeteletse a charge-iwe 2 million ka letsatsi.
It will be a discretion of what kind, so that a person could end up being charged about 2 million rand per day.
Okay, e nngwe hape ke hore na gas e tla ba le price e equal neng o fumana operator e nngwe e rekisa 9 kg ka price e low, another operator
Ke kopa
o.
o phete.
Okay. Another thing o tlo fumana hore price ya gas ha e lekane.
Prices of gas are unequal, are not the same.
Operator e nngwe ka e rekisa 9 kg ka low price, e nngwe 9 kg ka high
Another
price.
operator can sell a 9 kg gas with a different price.
Okay. And then e nngwe hape ke hanatsanang le yona ke ya pipeline.
I disagree with the issue of the pipeline.
Pipeline ha e kenywa construction work e tlo sebetsa just once, but then if it transportiwa ka di-trucka, then it will create jobs for the truck drivers.
Installing a pipeline for the transportation of gas will reduce the opportunity for other people to get employment, unlike when the gas is being transported with trucks.
Okay. And then license time frame, hore motho ha kentse kopo ya license o e fumana nakong e kae.
License time frame is also the issue that we need to know about.
And then NERSA e leng yona regulator ya rona e tlameha e regulate di-industry tsa gas e seng ha fela ho hlokahala.
NERSA must constantly regulate the gas industry, not only when it is necessary.
Okay. Triple BEE le yona ya hlokahala hore di-community tsa rona di kgone ho benefita.
Triple BEE is also important so that our communities can benefit.
Okay, kopo e nngwe hape ke hore gas ya rona ya Mzansi e ske ya tswela ka ntle ho naha e ntse e le raw, e kampa ya butswa pele. e
My
be ready
other
for use.
request is that our gas from South Africa must not be taken raw to other countries. I thank you.
One, two.
Dumelang, ne ke rata ho dumedisa.
I'd like to greet you all.
Leina la ka ke Thabo Kgopane,
I am Thabo Khopane.
ke hlaga mo Thabantsho wa 39.
I'm from 139 Tabanchu.
Nna ke tlo go botsa potso e nosi fela.
I only have one question.
Ha ne go diriwa gas amendment bill e, ana ene direla mabapi le gore e tlo go bereka jaka motlakase, jaka ntse re berekisa motlakase wa Eskom.
When this gas amendment bill was designed, was it with the purpose of being used or to be installed the way that we use our electricity, in the manner that we use the electricity?
Ka ntlha gore no yana ha se lebelletse no, ho tloga ka bo ma 10 years back or 15 years back.
Because if you have taken note, from 15 years back,
Ke nnete ne ntse re berekisa motlakase but e se jaka, in fact ne ntse re berekisa gas but e se jaka motlakase like re berekisa wa Eskom no yana.
it's true that we were using gas, but not in comparison as how we use electricity from Eskom currently.
Because re bone yana after Eskom e nne le mathata a ditjhelete, tjhelete ya teng e jowe.
Because once Eskom was in a financial dismay and there was corruption involved,
Ke gona re bonang foranong gas e tshwantse e nne teng. Ha ke re e ska nna teng ka ntlha gore maybe tlo create ditiro for batho ba rona ba sa berekeng ba gone go kra ditiro tswa mo yone.
we now see the necessity of having gas, and also it can also create employment in the process.
Sentle ne batla go itse gore ana gas e tlo go dirisetswa for eng, because anong ha ka tlo sheba le no yana ha re bua ka Eskom o yana di-tariffs tsa teng ba batla go di oketsa ene mo le gore anong di nna go godimo thata.
So my actual question is, what is this gas going to be used for? Because as you can see, the problems with Eskom, it is that they're also increasing the tariffs, and the tariffs are increasing over and over again.
So ne go kopa ge ha go le yalo kore e nne taba e straight, because ha ka tlo sheba tjhelete ya Eskom e joeng e teng hona le mo batho ba ba inkileng e teng tjhelete teng ha e lativi so that go kgone ho solve mathata a Eskom o sotla ka digase.
So please be straightforward with this, because considering the fruitless and wasteful expenditure that we experienced with Eskom, it might happen that it can happen with this issue.
Ke a leboga.
Thank you very much.
Chairperson, honorable members of the Portfolio Committee,
modulasetulo le maloko a komiti ke a le dumedisa
and fellow community members.
mmogo le setšhaba ke a le dumedisa
My name is Xolani Ramatlotlo.
ke nna Xolani
I'm
Ramatlotlo
from Ward 5, and I also happen to be a member of the regional command team of EFF.
ke tswa ko Ward 5 me ke leloko la regional command team ya EFF
Chair, here's my inputs, or rather our inputs.
modulasetulo ke nka rata go latlhela legonyana
Section 32.2, where the bill makes provision for expropriating land on behalf of a licensee and applicants.
karolo 32.2 e le gore e bua thata ka gore go nela di license le gore motho a kgone go bona license
We recommend that the provision that gives the minister sole power to prescribe the procedure to be followed when expropriating such land must be removed, Chair.
re nesetsa pula kgang ya gore modulasetulo e nne ene yo o nang le tshwanelo ya gore a tle a tsenye tirisong kgang ya gore lefatshe le tle le tsewe kgang eno e tle e tlosiwe
Chair, this is my input because it's extremely dangerous to give sole power to an individual to decide which land must be expropriated for the gas to be extracted in.
modulasetulo kgang ya me ke eno gore go kotsi fela thata gore motho a le nosi a nea maatla a kalo gore ke ene fela a ka laolang gore ke lefatshe le fe le le gore le ka tsewa
The process must then be prescribed by the gas energy regulator and the department as well.
jaanong tsamaiso eno tota e tshwanetse gore e diriwe ke molaodi wa tsamaiso ya digase kgotsa gas regulator
And not only that, there should also be extensive community participation like you are doing right now by including us in the amendment.
mme e seng seo fela mme gape go tshwanetse gore go nne le dipuisano le ba tsaya karolo ba ile gore ke setšhaba fela jaaka le dira gone jaanong
Because, Chair, reality is whichever land is expropriated, it will affect the community either around it or the community at large.
ka gonne boammaaruri jo bo senang bana ba phefo ke gore lefatshe le le go le tlile go tsewa le tlile go ama batho ba ba nnang mo go lone kgotsa ba ba dikologileng lefatshe
It
le
is therefore fair to keep constant communication with those people, even when having to expropriate that land.
jaanong puisano ya ka metlha e botlhokwa fela thata fa go tliwa mo kgang ya go tsewa ga lefatshe
And the land must only be expropriated for people who fall under the category of historically disadvantaged South Africans.
mme lefatshe leno kgotsa go tsewa ga lefatshe go tshwanetse fela gore go akanyetswe batho ba ile gore pele e ne le batho ba le gore ba ne ba sa kgone go bona ditšhono ka ntlha ya puso ya maloba
Particularly youth, women, people with disabilities, blacks, and so forth.
segolo jang basadi bašwa batho ba ba tshelang ka bogole le batho ba bangwe le batho ba bantsho jalo le jalo
Chair, because of our historical background, it is important that we make sure that people who are historically disadvantaged, such as black people and youth, are included, because we have seen them excluded in the past with other things that have been done on our land as we speak.
ka gonne go bua ba maruri modulasetulo ke gore batho ba ile gore le morago la batho ba ile gore ba ne ba sa nne le karolo kgotsa ba ne ba sekegetswe ka thoko mo nakong e fetileng ba tshwanetse gore ba akarediwe gone jaanong ka gonne go bo ba ne ba sena karolo ka nako e fetileng go ile ga ba ama ka tsela e botlhoko
And lastly, the person who the land is leased to or the licensee it will be given to must not be allowed to sell it to another party, at least not without consulting with the regulators and the relevant parties.
mme la bofelo ke gore motho yo o tlileng go neela tetla go a re dirise lefatshe leno kgotsa license ga a tshwanela gore a nne le tshono ya gore a rekise lefatshe leno kgotsa a le rentisetse batho ba bangwe
Thank you very much,
ke
Chair.
lebogile go menagane
Good afternoon. First,
madume ba gaetsho
I greet you all. Diabule,
ke a leboga
I would like to say I was not acting out of undisciplinary by coming to stand here. I did not actually follow the procedure.
Yeah.
Please pardon me.
ke kopa gore le ntshwarele ba gaetsho ne se lenyatso gore ga ka latela tsamaiso e le gore ntse e dirisiwa
My name is Temba Kangcezula.
ke nna rethela
Temba Kangcezula.
Ke Rethemba Kangwezula.
Kasca. I come from the communities which are affected by mining.
Ke tswa mo morafeng o le gore o amua thata ke meepo.
I've been an employee of mines for a long time, for more than 23 years. I'm a student of geology and
Ga ke bolo go nna mothapua wa moepo. Ke na le dingwaga di kana 33 ntse ke le mo moepong.
I know what type of gases come from all this type of extractives.
Ke a itse gore ke mefuta efe ya gase e le gore e tswa mo dikungweng tse di ntshitsweng mo lefatsheng.
And how many emissions and how much emissions does to livelihoods of humankind.
Le gore di gase tseno di ama kgotsa di kotsi go le kana ka mo matshelong a batho.
I'm self-affected because I'm also ill. I've got a lot of ailments because I worked in the industry.
Le nna ka tsele tshwanang ke motswa setlhabelo ka gonne ke na le manokonoko
I've got a heart condition,
a
I've got
bolwetse.
chest conditions, and I've got lung conditions.
Ke na le bolwetse jwa sehuba le makgwafo.
People ask themselves the question that there's been extractive since time memorial, since the old order. And then when we got our new dispensation, we thought things would become better. And this time, it is very hurtful in so much that there's no FP, which is free, prior, and informed consent coming from communities, which is now aborigines of the people staying around the areas where mining extractives or industry takes place and where developments takes place. We have seen people. Okay. Oh, I'm not emotional.
Okay, o ka tswelela.
We have seen people being forcibly removed from the areas of abode.
Re bone batho ba ntshiwa ka dikgoka mo mafelong a ba ne ba nna mo gone.
We have seen relocations.
Re bone batho ba tlosiwa.
We know people have, we've done a study where platinum, where gold, whenever these people have been removed from grazed land, from fixed abodes where people have got their own heritage sites.
Re le ra bona batho ba tlosiwa ko mafatsheng a go ka diregang thata gore ana le platinum kgotsa di mineral tse dingwe.
We have seen mining taking place right in graveyards.
Re bone ditshwanelo tsa meepo di neelwa batho ko mafelong a mabitla.
People have always been uneasy not to have a fixed abode to stay in the country because there's a fear that they can be removed anytime.
Batho ba ntse ba etsaetsega ka gonne ga gona mo ba ka itsetsepelang teng e re ka ba itse gore ba ka tlosiwa mo lefatsheng la bone ka nako epe fela.
Perhaps the country is taking another direction towards economy by now getting into the oil and gas.
Gongwe gone jaanong puso e tsa letlhakore le kgotsa e tsa tsele engwe e sele ya economy ka go akanyetsa gore ba tle ba tsenelele mo kgaeng ya lookwane le gase.
But the majority of the people have got a hope since we took over the country from the old order.
Me bogolo jwa kgotsa bontsi jwa batho ba ntse ba etsaetsega ka fa e sa le puso ya maloba ile a tselwa.
There will be some change and hope in their lives.
Me le fa go ntse jalo ba solofela gore go tla nna le diphetogo le tsholofelo mo matshelong a bone.
It's been a period of over 25 years, but that hope is diminishing on a daily basis.
Go setse go fitile dingwaga di le 25 me tsholofelo nyana e le bana le yone ntse fokotsega letsatsi le letsatsi.
We have seen the health system degrading.
Re bona tsamaiso ya boitekanelo e ntse e kwafala le go feta.
People long queues developing in clinics.
Batho ba ema mela e melele ba batla kalafi kwa ditleliniking.
In that hopelessness, COVID hit us first.
Me fa re santse re feletse ke tsholofelo ke fa le roborobo la COVID le rita.
My main concern is just easy.
Jaanong le tshwenyego kgolo la me ke leno.
May we have an honor of respecting people that live in the country by consulting them.
A re ne le seriti ka gore re tle re buisane le batho ba ba nnang mo lefatsheng leno le kgotsa mo nageng eno ya rona.
Maybe I'd give advocacy to the men in the street. My gogo, notatomkhulu, ohlalayo, ophila ngokulima.
A re neng batho ba ile gore ba ke batho ba tlwaelegileng tlotlo jaaka bo koko bo re mogolo le batho ba ile gore ba itshelela ka temothuo.
And let us explain to the people what is the meaningful change in gas mining and whatever type of.
A re tse matsapa go tlhalosetsa bone batho ba no gore diphetogo tse na le le go kgotsa botlhokwa jwa diphetogo tseno tsa gas le leokwane ke difeng.
People don't even want to see us when we come as social platforms to communities.
Ka gonne batho ga ba batle gore bona fa re tla ka di-platform tse di jaana kwa merafeng.
These are platforms of advocacy where we say, we give people hope to say, we explain to them what the laws and regulations of mining is all about.
A re ba tlhalosetseng gore di-platform tseno ke di-platform tsa tsholofelo mo e leng gore re kgona go ba tlhalosetsa gore dithulaganyo tseno di tlile go tlisa diphetogo tse di ntseng jang.
We have seen multinational companies coming and going and changing names, tax evasions, financial flows in the country.
Re bone di-company di le dintsi tsa boditšhabatšhaba di tsena di tswa mo nageng mme ba tswala di-company ba tshabela go duela lekgetho ebile ba dira ditiro tse dingwe tse di bosula.
With less beneficiaries to the aborigines of the
Mme rona batho re se ka ra sologela molemo ke go nna teng ga bone.
I'd like to say, give us time to look into the bill.
Ka jalo ra lolopa gore le re ne nako ya gore re tle re lekole molaotlhomo ono.
Go to our communities, ask them whether they understand it.
Re ko merafeng ya rona re ba botse gore a ruri ba e tlhaloganya.
Open up a platform where people can have inputs.
Bulang platform e le gore batho ba ka kgona go tshwaela.
Let us not be in a hurry to just take over to make money.
A re se ka ra itlhaganela gore ra go dira madi.
Consultation first.
Puisano pele.
When I look at the West Coast here in my maps,
Fa o ka leba West Coast mo mapeng wa gago,
the whole West Coast, we know that the time there used to be fish or whatever fish flowing into the inland when it's seasonal, then people would come and go and pick up fish.
a o no itse gore go kile ga nela nako e le gore West Coast e kile ya tlala ka ditlhapi mo le gore dipaka tse di rileng batho ba ne ba tla ba tlo go tshwara ditlhapi teng.
There's food there.
Go na le dijo koo
Communities are suffering.
mme merafe e a sokola.
Former speakers also mentioned it as well.
Sebui se se fetileng se ile sa bua ka yone kgang eno.
I would like to say to ourselves, at the moment, we shall make submissions.
Jaanong nka rata gore ke batla gore ke tshwaele jaana.
This is a very thick paper,
So se ke pampiri hela
and people don't know what it is.
mme batho ga ba itse gore go kwadilwe eng
And it
mo.
is written, huge, well understood language by those people who went to school.
Mme se kwadilwe ka sekgowa se se bokete sa batho fela ba ba ileng kwa dikolong.
Give me time to go and talk to communities to explain to them and have their inputs to say,
Ke-
what is this all about?
Ke kopa gore le mphe nako ya gore ke a go bua le morafe ke ba tlhalosetsa gore molaotlhomo ono kwa eng.
Thank you for your time.
Ke le lebogetse nako ya lona.
Good morning, everybody.
Dumelang bagaetsho.
I'm very thankful to get the opportunity to come and be able to present before the committee.
Ke lebogela tšhono eno gore ke tle go latlhela legonyana mo komiting eno e tlotlegang.
Yes, okay, I would like to say the following. My name is David Moroka. I'm from mining affected communities.
Ke nna David Moroka mme ke mongwe wa leloko la morafe o ile gore o amoa ke meepo.
Yeah, we are appealing to the committee to prioritize our local companies
Re ikwela mo komiting gore la akanyetse pele di-company tsa selegae
with a relevant and mostly desired technology to exploit our minerals.
ba ile gore ba na le technology ya bošweng e tshwanelang gore ba ka kgona go senka di-minerale tse di leng teng mo lefatsheng.
The DMRE as a regulator
DRE jaaka molaodi
seems to suppress and oppress development that should accrue from our mineral exploitation.
o gatelela kgatelopele e le gore e tshwantse e tswe mo phitlhelelong ya kgotsa mo tirong ya meepo ya selegae.
We can't be rich in minerals but yet have very high levels of poverty.
Re ka se ke ra na le lehumo le lekana la di-minerale ntswa re tshela mo khumanegong.
As you develop this document, you had a chance and enough space to consult with legal expertise.
Fa lo ntse le tlhama tokomane eno le ile la nna le tšhono ya gore le tle le buisane le baitsanape.
But the communities, us, have never been given equal opportunities to consult same.
Mme merafe ke ra rona ga ra ka ra nna le tšhono ya gore le rona re tshwaele ka yone.
It is to my dismay to look at the honorables in front of me who are working in parliament, deliberating on mineral exploitation, but yet our community, our country's economy continues to bleed and to the benefit of multinational companies.
Ke sobang go go feta molomo fa ke le ba tlotle maloko a komiti ba tlotlegang ba ntse ba seka molaotlhomo ono ntswa ile gore naga ya rona e dutla re ka re e dutla tšhelete ka gonne di-company tsa boditšhabatšhaba ke tsone tse di sologelang molemo.
Multinational companies owe our society huge sums, yet we are supposed now to pay so-called flat rate for water, a basic need.
Me di-company tsa boditšhabatšhaba re bona ba sa duele go le kalo mme le fa go ntse jalo rona ba merafe re patelediwa gore re tle re duele madi a rileng gore re bone metsi di ditlhokwa tse dingwe.
3 kilometers outside Kutlwanong in the North Free State, gas is currently mined, but the socio-economic conditions are appalling and continues to debilitate, to say the least.
Fa o leba Kutlwanong go na le di-kilometer di ka nna tharo go tswa ko location leno go na le moepo le fa go ntse jalo morafe ono o tshela mo khumanegong ebile maemo a bona a etegela pele.
May our reps in parliament not only think about their own private livelihood, but that of a general society.
Jano re ikwela mo baemeding ba rona ko parlamenteng gore ba seke ba akanyetsa dimpa tsa bone fela gona le mo ba akanyetse le batho ba ile go ba tlhomile gore ba nne ko.
Do more of advertising in order to let people know of the bill and how it would affect them.
Bapatsang molaotlhomo ono me le ba tlhalosetseng ka tsela e utlwalang sentle gore diphetogo tseno di tlile go ba ama jang.
I am of the opinion that our country lacks nothing. The expertise, the technology, academies, minerals, but multinational companies continue to rip our heads off in terms of financial benefit. Yet we have you, the regulatory body.
Ke batla go dumela gore naga ya rona ga e tlhaele sepe ke bua ka boitsanape bokgoni le go dira tiro le fa go ntse jalo di-company tsa boditšhabatšhaba ke tsone tse di go sologela molemo fela thata me fa ntse ke le ba gaetso ke akanya gore ka dira sengwe.
Remove red tape in terms of acquiring power purchase agreements and acquiring of gas mining permits.
Tlosang dithibelo tse di amanyang le ditetla tsa go dira moepo le dituelo le gore batho ba tla ba kgona go duela go gona le dituelelo gore ba kgone go dira meepo.
We are still waiting for the DMRE to come to the community with regard to FPIC, which is free, prior, informed consent.
Ga re bolo go letela DMRE gore e tle mo merafeng ya rona gore ba tle ba bue ka kgang eno ya tetla le go nela taolo.
Thank you.
Re lebogile thata.
Thank you very much for your inputs. It's not for us. We said we are coming to listen and hear what are your views.
Re a leboha ka maikutlo a lona re lebohela hore e be le ntsha maikutlo a lona e le mosebetsi o re o tletseng kwane hore re tlo le mamela.
We will take most of the things that you are saying.
Ditaba tsohle tseo le di buileng re tla di mamela.
Including, if I'm correct, I get a sense that there is a concern that the department did not consult before it drafted those amendments.
Ho kenyelletswa le hore
So I want us to be clear so that when we go, we check with the department. Did they consult before they made this amendment or after? There is a difference. The department, when it must do its own work, we do ours. If we pick up, and if that issue comes straight, that please note that the department has not done proper consultation before or after it had made this amendment. We are not representing the department. They will have to account for that. If it has, they have to show us where did they go when they were doing consultations. It's our duty as a committee to say, give us, if it means, because for us, when we are here, we can produce records and say we were there, these are the people who were present. They will have to tell us also we were there, these are the people who were present. We can then take the issue at that stage. I hope I'm getting you correctly on that one. I just thought it's the only issue I should get clarity on.
Ho utlwahala hore lefapha ka bolona ha le ka ba la ikopanya le setjhaba ha ntse le bua mona mme ke boikarabelo ba rona re le komiti re kgutlele lefapheng re lo utlwa hore na ba ikopantse le lona na Hobane rona ha re tlile mona re na le di-record tse bontshang hore re tlile. Empa bona re tla kopa di-record ho bona hobane ke mosebetsi wa rona hore re shebe hore ba etsa mosebetsi wa bona. Mme haeba ha ba ka nnete ha ba etsa mosebetsi wa bona, re bone hore na taba eo re e lokisa jwang.
We are not trying to straitjacket people on the amendment. The problem is that when we live here, we must say people in Bloemfontein, people in Witbank, people in Pedi or in Graaf Reinet said they reject this amendment on 1, 2, and 3.
Maikarabelo a rona ha se ho le hatella ka diphetho tsena. Fela ke hore ha re tloa mona, re tsebe re bue hore batho ba Mangaung, batho ba ho kae ba Kimberley, ba re ba ha ba dumellane le molao ona tlasa mabaka a latelang.
So that's why we want to stick, because that's the issue that the committee must deliberate on after those inputs that you have made to it.
Ke mosebetsi o committee e lokelang ho etsa ka mora ditlhaiso tsena tseo le di entseng.
Can I take the last round of hands?
Ke kopa ho
There is one.
fa batho ba bang matsoho.
There is one. There is two. Please keep your hand up until I point at you. There is two.
Ska dia letsola ho fihlela ke o
There
supa.
is 3 at the back. Yes. No, the white shirt. There is 3. There is 4. No, you will come, don't worry. I'm also trying, let's be fair, I'm also trying to do gender balance. I'm not opposed to, but I'm trying my level best. Konubaba, that one with Unufakutai.
Ho na le ntate ya tlammeng
Ah,
tae
yes.
mola hatle.
I didn't point, but honestly, I didn't.
Ho na le motho
No,
e ke
I
sa mo
didn't.
supang moo.
You have to raise your hand and point at you.
Le lokela ho phamisa matsoho pele ebe ke a le supa, ha o tle fela o dula setulong.
There is Ubaba, Nangu Sisi,
Ntate le mme mola,
Nangu Baba, the one with glasses.
ntate ya rwetseng
Then Ubaba,
dibrele.
no, and I think then yourself. The last ones is 1, 2, they are the last ones. Continue.
E tla ba lona ba ho qetela moo. Thank you.
Tam, you can see how many people, everyone behind you. Okay, continue, Domkul.
Libito la ka ke Morena Kelem. Ke Morena Kelem.
My name is Morena Kelem.
Ke modudi wa Bloemfontein.
I'm a resident here in Bloemfontein.
Sene o nkila ka tsa ho se tseba nna.
What I would like to ask,
Sene ke la ka ditse ka mohlomong ka be re se jwetsitswe ke sa hore na molao ona ha o etsuwa tjena ho bonwe hore di minerale tseo kapo gase eo e lo fumaneha ho ka ebe ra tseba re buella hoduma eng.
what we could have been informed is that this gas which we are talking about, whether which place was identified that it was going to, it is available at that particular place.
Ha nka etsa mohlala o mokgutshwane fela.
If I can make just a,
Ha re nke hore gase eo e tlo fumanwa Bloemfontein.
if for instance it is available here in Bloemfontein,
Ha batho ba Bloemfontein ha ba tlo iphumana ba tlosiwa ba se ba dumetse hore gase eo e be teng kapo e rafuwe monana ba iphumane ba se ba tlositswe dibakeng tsa bona na ba fuwa bonyanenyana.
I'm asking myself whether the people of Bloemfontein are not going to find themselves being removed from their place and then being given a very small compensation.
And then taba ye nngwe e bueng ke sebui se seng mona ke e reng ha re tlo iphumana re lwanela dipijopo moo.
The other thing which was raised by one of the speakers.
Sorry, you are the last one. Go there. You are the last one.
The other thing is that we don't want to find ourselves fighting for peace jobs here.
Hoba ntho ya pele eo country ya rona e etsang ha e tlo exploiter bafutsana batho ba batsho ba qala ka hore ho rona mesebetsi e tlo ba teng.
Because the first thing that our government does when it wants to exploit our people, they start by saying that promising them job opportunities.
So the job opportunity tse tlo bang teng tse. E tlo ba di opportunity tsa beke, tsa kgwedi, tsa selemo kapo e tlo ba di job ba ha ke dumela ha re bua ka di job. Re bua ka dilemo tse o ke tlo di sebetsang mono be ke long ka modula fatshe.
The job opportunities that we are talking about here, is it going to be weekly or for a month or a year, or are we talking about long-term job opportunities up until the age of retirement?
Hona mesebetsi eo ha e ba teng mo kapo ka ga ditšhanto makeishene a rona. Mesebetsi enana bonnete ba hore ha o tlo ba le bomenemene bo ntseng bo etsuwa ke batho bane ba pele bane ba hutswa ditšhelete jwalo ka o ntse ditšhelete e nyametse Eskom, tšhelete e nyametse lefapheng le itseng ha e tlo etsahala na hona jwale lefapheng ha le etsa dikgase tseo.
When that project materializes, and what I want to know is that whether is corruption not going to happen, as referred earlier by some speakers, that there is a lot of corruption.
Haibe ke maikutlo a ka ana haibe bothata bo ntseng re na le bona hona jwale ba hore ho thwe re tlo fumana ho itseng ho thwe batho ba tlo fumana mesebetsi batho ba tlo una ho itseng ha project ena e ba teng ebe e tlo etsahala ka tsela e ntseng e etsahala ya exploiter batho nna kiri ha e ska itsuwa at all.
In my view, if what is going to happen is what we are used to get promises from our leaders, and when the project materializes and you find that there is this corruption, if that is what is going to happen, in my personal view, I think this project must not continue.
Then haibe it will benefit batho for a long run for na go etelele ke tla itshehetsa. Fela e mongwe wa batho ba ka ga holo ka mona kwa le EFF o itse batho bane ba fitileng ba entseng bobodu ba utswa ditšhelete tsa tsona di electric tsena ba tlo gona ho nka maikarabelo jwang ha sentse le hlaisa bohlaswa bo bong ke lebo.
Another thing is that if this corruption is going to continue, or rather if there's going to be any benefit in the community, I am going to support this project. But if there's going to be corruption, like the other EFF member has said, I don't think that we are going to agree that it continues. Thank you.
No, I don't want to enter politics. Good people, we're not carrying a project. I don't want us to live here and say we're carrying a gas project. No, we're not carrying a project. There is a law that is being amended, and it is proposed by the department, not by the committee. I would say, maybe even to the other speakers who are coming, you are correct. You can say, based on our experience, the act, the amendment must, I don't want to, you see the problems when you are feeding people, and when they come, they say, no, but you told us we must say this. But it will be nice as an example, that based on our own experience, how projects come in, the amendment must then be clear that before a project is done, there must be, I think that's what others were saying, there must be prior consultation and get consent from the community. The amendments must be clear that if there is a project that is going to take place, let it be clear how local beneficiations will take place. If you are saying it's not clear now, but I don't want, when we live here, to say, where is that project we promised at that hall that there is a gas project coming? No, that's why I said we go all over the country, try to consult as much as possible.
Nna de ke re ga ke batla gore ke ne ke tsena mo tsa go di politiki rona ga re tlile fa ga ratla re tshwere project se re tlileng ka sona fa ke taba e ya molao ka kwanya o re tlileng ka ona se gole se tonna mabapi le diphetogo tse di rilweng mo molao ka kanyang o rona ya ka re tlile yana re tlile gore re tlo go utlwa ditshwaelo tsa setšhaba gore ba ka eketsa byang mo mo molaong o mo diphetogo tseo go le gore ke diphetogo tsefe tse ile gore ba ka di tsentsha gona mo molaong o gore ya ka ba bang ba buile gore ga project e simolla gore setšhaba se re batla go bona gore go iragale dilo tse tshwanang le tse tshwanang le tsela go ya ka ditshwaelo tsa bona ga re batle gore ga re tswa fa e be e le gore batho setse ba simolla ba mpotsa gore he yaanong he ka re la tsamayana project e ntse o bua ka yona re utlwile ka yona o itlisitse e kae.
Can I remove the mask? Okay. Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank the Parliament first for organizing this session, as well as the Mangaung municipality. And I say it's exciting to see that before the promulgation of such bills, you know, we have such engagements. My name is Tlohelo Motsamai. I forgot to introduce myself, and I am here representing African Women in Energy and Power in the Free State. Just to highlight two things. Is it a mouthful? Is it? I keep forgetting. Okay, it's fine.
Give him space to,
All right.
to Tolika. Sometimes English makes some of us to start in our indigenous language and then translate.
Exactly. Apologies.
Ke a leboga ke rata go simolla ka go leboga tshono e le re fileng yona ka gore re tle re tlo go tlhaisa ditshwaelo tsa rona nna ke bona e le selo se sentle thata gore ya ka go diriwa melao segolo se tonna molao o go buang ka ona o wa molao ka kwanya wa gase gore o tlisiwe mo setšhabeng gore setšhaba se tlo kgona gore se ntshe ditshwaelo tsa ba tlo kgona gore ba dire ditshwaelo tsa bona mo molaong o re se itumeletse thata kgato eo.
And then I said I am from African Women in Energy and Power. That's the organization I'm representing today.
O tswa mo kopanong eo a e boletseng ka leina.
Tlohelo Motsamai, that's the name. Yes. I'm excited to see that landfill and biogas are at the top of the discussion today.
Tumela thata gore taba e ya di gase le biogas gore di ke tsona tse re tlo go buisanang ka tsona gompieno.
Because landfill and biogas are part of the circular economy.
Gobane ke dintlha tse botlhokwa tsa moruo.
And circular economy underpins renewable energy, and there is definitely a relationship between renewable energy as well as gas.
Yona ge gape e ya tsamaisa di a berekisana le se bitswang ka gore ke renewable energy le gas.
However, there are two things that I would like to bring to the attention of the Parliament as well as the municipality. And that is while these policies are being passed and amended, we sit with the challenge of lack of skills from our municipalities, from competency as well as a skills point of view.
Gobane kgwetlho e re na leng yona segolo se tonna ko go sebele kitso ya go dira tiro segolo se tonna mo bo masepaleng.
And there's a lot of groundwork that still needs to be done when it comes to educating our youth, when it comes to emerging sectors such as your renewable energy industry, the circular economy, and yeah.
Go na le ditiro e ntsi e tshwantseng re dire mabapi le gore re rute setšhaba segolo se tonna batjha ka yona industry e ka gore yona ka yona industry ka gore batho ba bantsi ga ba itse ka ga yona gore re ba itsisi ka gore go botlhokwa gore ba rupellwe ka yona dilo tsa dintlha tsa industry e.
And subjects such as your global warming and climate change.
Di polelo tsa go tshwana le global warming le go fetoga ga climate change.
So it is our plea from the private sector to work with the public sector
Rona ra kopa re le bo rakgwebo ba ikemetseng gore re dirisane le puso
to enhance such sectors
gore re kgone gore re ntswetse pele di industry tse tshwanang le tseo
to the benefit of our society,
gore di kgone gore di tswele mogola setšhaba sa borona
particularly our youth. Particularly our youth, batjha ba rona.
segolo se tonna batjha
And that's it. Ke a leboha.
ke a leboga
Thank you, Chair, and the committee. I'm disturbed by a call that I just received when I was sitting here. I've got members of Sanko that are coming from Tabanchu. They've been standing at a pickup point from 6 o'clock in the morning. And they are outside. They are unable to come in and participate here. Probably because of the COVID-19, whatever, some things. But it is a very painful, disturbing fact that people have left their homes at around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to get here, only to be stopped at the gate, not even manage to enter these premises. Amongst other things that we were faced with, and I hope this is it getting into my 5 minutes or not? This thing that disturbed me. Okay. No, I'm glad it is. Thank you. So, what I would like to speak to is the public participation aspect of the bill.
Sa pele re ke simolle ka gore go na le ntlha e sa ntshwarang sentle ka gore go na le batho ba ntse ba Sanko ba ileng gore ba tswa ba le go Thabanchu a isa le batho ba ema ka ura ya bo tshelela go gone ya nong ba latile ba tlile ba kontle e fela go apala gore ba tsene ka baka la melao e ya COVID. Nna go ya ka pono ya ka ke bona ka maikutlo a ka ke bona e se ntho e sa lokang e sa siamang ka gore batho ba tsogile mo mosong ka bo 4 ba tloga go kgakala go batla mo ga ba fitlha mo ga ba letlelwe gore ba tsene.
I'm sorry to be incoherent because of this disturbing factor. My name is Godfrey Maekis. I'm the convener of Sanko in the Free State. I had prepared something, but because of this disturbing factor, I'll try to comply within the 5 minutes to get to the point of public participation of the aspect of the draft bill. Sorry.
Nna ke nna Godfrey Maekiso ke wa mokgatlo wa Sanko go na le puanyana ke ne ke lokisitse fa e fela ka baka la go se tshwarege sentle ka ntlha e ke fetsang go bua ka yona ke tla leka gore ke bone gore ke bua yang ke puo e ya ke ne ke lokisitse.
Public participation is meant to promote representatives, discussions and representations.
Go nka karolo ga setšhaba go direla go ntshetsa pele go bontshana le gore go ntshetse pele boemedi.
Towards enabling all community members to meaningfully influence the decisions that affect their lives. That's public participation.
Gore setšhaba se kgone gore se dire tshwaelo mo dilo tse re buang ka tsona ke gona go nka karolo ga setšhaba.
And the emphasis here is on all members of the community.
Se re se gatelang se thata ke gore maloko kaofela a setšhaba.
And I'm raising this in lieu of the fact that apparently, and I may be speaking under correction, there's going to be hearings in Bloemfontein, which is the Mangaung area, and the Fezile Dabi, which is the other area, the Northern Free State.
Ka utlwa gore go tlo ba le dikopano tsa setšhaba mo Mangaung le ko Fezile Dabi gona mo Freestata.
And in a province with 5 regions, only 2 regions are going to participate. Now,
Mo provinceng e na le di region tse tlhano tse pedi fela ke tsona tse tlo go nkang karolo.
now, I've seen that there is my colleagues, my residents, my neighbors that are here from Lejweleputswa. That means, like myself, we've transported ourselves in taxis. I know that they don't have cars. We took time, got into taxis to come here.
Ka bona gore go na le baagisane ba ka ba ke tswang ko ke dulang ko teng ba bang bontsi ba bona ha bana dikoloi re tsere matsapa a ra namela di taxi gore re khone gore re fitlhe fa
Only to get 5 minutes.
ga re fitlha fa re fiwa 5 minutes fa.
And the reason why I'm saying that, making an appeal on the 5 minutes, is that we must have a meaningful participation of all members of the society.
Lebaka la gore ke gatelle taba e ya metsotso e metlhano e ke gore go bana re tshwantse gore go be le ditshwaelo tse e leng gore maloko kaofela a setšhaba ba ba le tšhono eo ya gore le bona ba ire tshwaelo tsa bona.
And there's no other way to say it in English. I have to say it in Xhosa. Amaqhalanga ayapapa phezulu, because they are going to harvest from this process. Amaqhalanga is the hyenas are already making themselves ready at Hyatt hotels, at Santin, at whatever, because they know that this is a lucrative business for them. And yet, we are the ones that are shortchanged from the process, through the process.
Gore se ke se bolelang ko gore ke ra itse gore bo rakgwebo ba bagolo ke bona ba ileng gore ba tlo go tla fa e be bona ba ileng gore project e tlo go ba tswela mogola ka gore ba itse gore mo go na le madi mo industry e.
Now, it is gas that is going to benefit each and every member.
Ke gase e ileng gore batho e tlo tswela batho mogola.
That is the intention of the bill.
Ke ka mokgo molao ka kwanya o ke seo se ileng gore molao ka kwanya o kemiseditse go se fitlhella.
To rid our society of their misery.
Gore re khone gore re ntshe matlhomola a leng teng mo setšhabeng sa rona.
To improve the lives of our people.
Go dira go kaonafatsa matshelo a batho ba rona.
Your aunties, your grandmas, your sisters, your brothers, you.
Batswadi ba lona le maloko a losika.
Now, we are faced with a situation where I'm made to understand, and I'm speaking under correction, that the department's technocrats, the clever, the best of the best in the industry, have prepared a document.
Nna ke utlwisisa gore ba itsanape ba mafapha ba departmente ke bona ba ileng gore ba tlhakantshitse mo molaokakanywa o.
So my actual contact, njengoba ndingafundanga ndingunobody, was on Monday, this week, Monday. Here's a bill, read it, and then go and say something in 5 minutes.
Na ki ile ka ikrea ka Mantaga gore molao ka kwanya kiwo tsama o tlo ba o ba le molao ka kwanya o tlo go ira ditshwaelo ke fitla ke fuwa 5 minutes.
So in essence, the participatory process is the one that is letting South Africans down.
Ka mantswe a mang taba e ya go nka karolo ya setšhaba kgotsa mokgwa o go tsamaisiwang go nka karolo ga setšhaba ke yona e irang gore South Africa e sa tswela pele.
Because there's going to be 1 billion rand that is going to be spent on commission to find out what went wrong at the behest, at the downfall of our people.
Gobane go tlo ba le ditšhelete tse ile gore bilione e ka tswang go be le commission gore go batlisisiwe gore go diragetseng mo.
So we must make those who account to you and make you account to us. We need to have a process that does not run any longer than unnecessary, like 10 years, to only to come back and pay monies after we have been robbed and we become victims of a victimized process. So it's up to you to safeguard us. I'm sorry, I'm going to speak because my time is up. It's up to you to safeguard us, look after us, and to ensure that this bill must not be controlled by the minister alone, because amakalanga enzi deal naye pa esentin give 4% ne 5% at our detriment. Thank you.
Sana sibulela ko gore sa se lemogang ko gore o kopa gore maloko a committee a parliament gore ba latelle batho ba ileng gore ba ikarabella mo go bona ka gore bona ba ikarabella mo setšhaba sona se tlo latella maloko a committee gore ba tlhalose gobane ga le sa irialo go tlo feletsa go ba le ditaba mo ileng gore ha ile gore minister ke yena fela a tshwereng ntlha e o tla feletsa a ba le dipuisano le borakgwebo ba bagolo ko di hoteleng ko e be le gore setšhaba sona a gona mogola se se o kry-a mo projecteng.
Greetings, Chair of the session,
Si
members of the
Kagisanong.
Portfolio Committee, and everyone in the House.
I-portfolio committee na wonke umuntu okhoyo apha endlini.
My name is Deliwe Malebu,
Igama lam nguDeliwe Malebu,
the Regional Treasurer of Mangaung Region
ndingunongxowa weregion yaseMangaung
in the EFF organization.
kwimbutho EFF.
I'm from Ward 15,
Ndiphume Ward 15
Bloemfontein sub-region.
eBloemfontein South.
Chair, I'm here to provide input to a bill that is subject to amendment.
Sihlalo ndilapha ndizonika igalelo lam kumthetho sisekelo ofanele ujikwe.
Taking into lessons around Shell's intended exploration of gas in the Wild Coast and the fracking in the Karoo and department response to public protests
Si-
around these issues because of lack of legislation and other reasons.
Sithatha umzekelo kwinto eyenzekileyo eWild Coast ngento ebifuna ukwenziwa iShell naleyo futhi yenzekileyo eNorthern Cape kuqhekezwa umhlaba.
This bill must make it illegal for companies or government to explore gas or conduct any gas activities that will be harmful to the health of the people, harmful to the environment, and harmful to the groundwater systems.
Lo rhulumente kufuneka ayivale yonke into eyenziwa zinkampani zokuzama ukugrumba umhlaba into eza kwenzakalisa okwesingqongileyo nempilo zoluntu oluhlala apho.
These are the activities like fracking and any other method.
Ezo zinto zezo zenziwa xa kugqojozwa okanye kusembiwa umhlaba kufuna ubonwa into ezingaphantsi nezinto ezinjalo njalo ke.
Companies must also outline disaster risk management and environmental protection and the rehabilitation processes to be observed prior, during, and post-operation.
Inkampani kufuneka zijongisise umonakalo ongenzeka ngaphambili xa zisebenza nasemva koba zigqibile umsebenzi wazo.
These should be in the form of a binding legal contract that will give the state powers to pursue the companies in the event of non-compliance.
Ezo zinto kufuneka zenziwe kukhona umthetho obhalwe phansi phakathi kwazo norhulumente oza kuziphendulisa xa zingahambanga ngomthetho.
Companies should also be able to demonstrate that their activities will not intensify environmental degradation and climate change, and their carbon footprint will be within accepted standards.
Inkampani ezo kufuneka ziqinisekisile uba umsebenzi lo zizawenza awuzukwenzakalisa okusingqongileyo, ziqinisekise nokuba ukutshintsha kwemozulu akuzuba phezulu ngenxa yomsebenzi eziwenzayo.
As the EFF, we support the amendment bill.
Singumbutho EFF siyakuxhasa lo mthetho uyilwayo.
Ke a leboha kana ko re bufanyana modulasetulo. Ka lebitso ke Kopano Mokake, my ho tswa ko Barol.
My name is Kopano Mokako from
Barolong Tribal Council.
Barolong Tribal Council.
Modulasetulo ha re ya kry-a nako go sekaseka mametlelo e ya molaotheo.
Chairperson, we didn't get enough time to go through this amendment bill.
Ka jalo ka wena modulasetulo re ne re kopa hore o re tla sekaseka mametlelo e re romele di-input tsa rona ko go wena.
So through you, we are appealing that we will go through the amendment bill and then we will do written comments to you.
Ke a leboha modulasetulo.
Thank you so much.
Dumelang,
Greetings.
modulasetulo le ntho ene ka mona. Nna ha ke tlo etsa tshwaelo mo nthong ya gas bill.
I'm not going to
Ke tlo etsa
make any
tshwaelo
proposals on the bill.
tabeng ya ho prepare this kopano ene e bileng teng.
But on the preparation of this hearing,
Ka mokgwa ke bonang dintho di sebetsahetse ka teng.
the way I see things happening,
Ke e mong o ke lebetse ho itsebisa nna ke mang.
I
Nna
forgot
ke Mimi Makatla,
I'm Mimi Makatla,
community development worker
community
hare
development
ho Ward
worker
13.
in Ward 13,
Mona mo public participation ena e tshwaretsweng teng.
where this public participation is taking place.
Ke la ka kopuwa hore ke mobilize batho
I was requested to mobilize the community
hore ba tle mona public participation ena.
so that they can come to this public
Ke
participation.
fumana ke feitsi batho be ke ba memmeng hore ba tle kopanong ena
I think I have failed people that I've mobilized
ka baka la number e re neng re e fuwe ya 150.
because of the required number of 150.
Ke ne ke nahanne ha o no 250 ho no ho bua ka ward e ke leng ka hara ho yona.
I thought that if they say 150, they were considering the number of people in the ward.
Khathi e tlo ba all municipality wa Mangaung.
Only to find that it's the whole of Mangaung municipality.
So hona le batho ba bang be hana jwale ba iphumanang ba eme ka ntle.
So there are other people who find themselves standing outside,
Ba sa kgone ho kena ka mona ka baka la bonyane ba sebaka.
who cannot get inside because of the small venue,
Ho latela maemo ao re leng hona a COVID-19.
because of the situation that we find ourselves in of COVID-19.
Ke le mosebeletsi wa ntshetsopele ya setjhaba ka hara masepala wa Mangaung.
As a community worker in Mangaung municipality,
Kopo ya ka kapa tlhahiso ya ka ho batho ba parlamenteng
my request to honorable MPs
ke hore mohlang ho nang le kopano e nngwe e tla tshwarwa hape maemong ana a COVID-19
is that whenever there will be another public hearing that will take place during the COVID-19 pandemic,
ho ke ho be le dipatlisiso tse hantle tsa dibaka tse batlang di buleile.
you can make some researches of bigger venues.
Nka ka hara Mangaung ke na le mohlala ka hare ho stadium sa rona sa Sisa Ramabodi.
In Mangaung, we have Sisarama Body Stadium.
Re na le indoor
There's an indoor facility
center e ke nahanang hore e kgolo ho feta ho lwena.
that is bigger than this hall.
Mohlomong ke be kgonne ho accommodate batho be re neng re ba mobilizitse hore ba tle mona kopanong ena.
Maybe more people that we've mobilized could have got a chance to attend.
Hobane ke nahana ha o thwe ntho ke public participation.
Because when a thing is a public participation,
Ke mo ho tlo tla ho utlwa maikutlo kapa ho tlo nonywa setjhaba ka ntho ka bili e tlong ho etsuwa. So setjhaba ne se tshwanetse e be se tlile ka bongata e seng e be ho tlile batho ba certain number.
it's where people will get a chance to make their inputs about a certain bill, not only a few people.
Ke mane mo o tla utlwa o sana ntse ho bile e itseng e phasisitswe botho na e phasisitswe jwang kopano ene tshwaretswe kae batho ba bang ha ba tsebe.
That's where there'll be questions when it's reported that there was a bill that has been passed. Most people will be saying, but how we didn't attend that hearing.
Ke nahana kopo e ke e etsang e tla utlwahala baetapele, ke se ke lebohile.
I think my appeal will be taken into consideration. Thank you.
Greetings, everyone.
Ke a le dumedisa kaofela.
My name is Taolo Mokhele
Lebitso la ka ke Taole Mogele,
from Goldfields Community Forum,
ho tswa Goldfield Community Forum,
Velco.
mane Velkom.
I just want to ask ask the department
Ke batla ho botsa lefapha
why they want to spend billions on gas and when the entire infrastructure will have to be removed because gas contributes to climate crisis. Why not spend billions on renewable energy, solar panels on every roof of every building and
Baneng
house?
ha ba batla ho sebedisa di-million tsa diranta ba kenya meralo ya melaotheo empa ba sa sebedise tjhelete eno ho lokisa dintho tse sentse di le teng.
Even sheikhs to start with electricity by the people for the people.
E ka sitana le ho tlosa mekhukhu ena le ho fana ka motlakase ho batho.
Again, I just want to know who wrote this,
Ke batla ho tseba le hore na ke mang ya ngotseng tokomane ena.
who consulted who here.
Ke mang ya ileng a kopana le setjhaba ho ngola tokomane ena.
Now we want to know from the department because the tendency in our government to impose things such as this without consulting our people.
Re batla ho tseba ho tswa ho lefapha hobane bana le mokgwa wa ho hatella batho ka dintho tseo setjhaba se sa di tsebeng.
So as one resident from the mining community,
Jwalo ka moahi ya tswang sebakeng sa merafo,
the DUMR is failing us.
lefapha lena ka nnete ruri ha le re sebeletse hantle.
They are failing dismally to regulate the mines in Velkom.
Ba hloleha ho regulate merafo mane Velkom.
In terms of these public hearings,
Ka taba ena ya di-public hearings tsena,
there was no consultation
ha o ka ba ha o ikopanywa le setjhaba.
as part of ensuring that our people knows about this.
Ho netefatsa hore batho ba rona ba tseba ka
And
sena.
yet we are giving only days to come and make submissions on this that we don't even know who wrote it, who consulted who on this thing.
Re fuwa matsatsi a mmalwa fela hore re tlo phehisa ka taba ena e re sa tsebeng le hore na e ngotswe ke mang.
Now we cannot do any submissions on something that we have never even engaged the department with.
Re ke be ra tla etsa diphehiso ka ntho yeo re sa kang ra kopana le lefapha ka yona ho buisana le lona.
I hope that the minister should stop engaging with white people with his friends and take decisions and come up with things that you don't even know, things that you don't even consult us. He is failing us. He must come to Velkom and see how poor are the people living in Velkom. But he's got the mines, we've got the mines, and he's failing, his department is failing to regulate those mines. We are marching, but there is nothing that benefit us as the communities, the mining communities in Velkom.
Ke nahana
So
hore
we
letona
hope,
o lokela hore a tlohele hore a nna bue le batho ba basweu kwana moo ba leng teng. A tle ho rona batho a tlo buisana le rona. Mane Velkom merafo e teng empa letona o lokela a ya lo bona hore batho ba Velkom ba futsanehile ha kae di-mine di le teng tseo a sitwang ho le ho di regulate.
so really it is very embarrassing for one to be here and then also the department that is failing our communities and failing to make thorough consultation with the communities. They must visit at least in Free State we have 5 regions. Now if I'm coming from Velkom and only to find out that there is only 150 people to be inside here, where is the fairness there on us as people? Because we are too many. Now you can't expect the entire Free State to be in one room and then you are coming here and tell us that due to COVID regulations, but the same people are having anniversary, 8th anniversary celebrations. There were more people than in this hall.
Wa makatsa hore ebe lefapha ha le kgone hore re na le mabato a mahlano Freistata ebe ha le kgone ho ya mabatoweng ana kaofela le lokela hore le ye lebatoweng le leng hana jwale re tlile ka dipalangwang tsa rona mona ba lokela hore ebe ba batlile venue e kgolo haholo hore re felle kaofela hana jwale bona ba etsa diketeko tsa bona tsa bodilemo tse lekgolo ba feta le sekete ka hare empa rona re bokanwa ka hare holo ena e nyane.
Truly speaking, this government is failing us and it is undermining us as the residents in Kutlwanum,
So
Velkom.
ona ka nnete wa re nyatsa re le baahi ba Kutlwanong mane Velkom ke a leboha. Dumela, greetings everyone. I think Parliament has just wasted time because you come to us while we are hungry. You coming here without any employment opportunities. And you come here with something that is going to benefit you. And then you say that is for our benefit. What I want to ask from you is, because you come here writing something there, but there's nothing that you write in that benefits us. About the gas amendment bill, I've known it from a long time. There were places that were discovered that they have gas. But until now, there hasn't been any mines in those places. But you come here undermining us without anything concrete. I think the South African government is just happy only if leaders are benefiting and living the good life. Now you've called us here. We don't even have money to buy food or electricity. You are wasting our time with what you're not going to perform. Please, as you live here, go and think properly. You're not working for us. Don't ever say that you are working for us. You are working for yourself. South African citizens are hungry. Now you're telling us about the mines that you're already benefiting from. Meaning that Parliament is making fools of us. What you're doing to us is not good. You call us and we come here in our numbers and watch you writing something there. That is not good. You're not treating us good. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Ke a leboha modulasetulo.
And the rest of the portfolio committee members.
Le ditho kaofela tsa portfolio committee.
I'm Chaule Astin from Nyakalong Allen Ridge.
Ke Chaule Austin ho tswa Nyakalong Allen Ridge.
I'm a member of Mining Affected Communities United in Action.
Ke setho sa mining communities.
United in Action.
United in Action.
We all know the history of mining in this country.
Re tseba nalane ya merafo kaofela ha rona mona Afrika Borwa.
We know that is exploitation of our people,
Re a tseba hore ke tshotlakako ya batho ba rona,
environmental degradation,
ho senya tikoloho,
and no rehabilitation at all.
mme ha hona ntjhafatso e etsuwang ho hang.
As the parliament, you drafted the bills before,
Le parlamente pele le la nna la etsa dibili.
MPRDA,
NPRA,
mining charter,
mining charter,
and out of that, there was a social labor plan.
mme ka ho tswa mono ho ile ha ba le social labor plan.
But still, there's no accountability from the mines.
Fela merafo e ntse e sa jare boikarabelo hodima ho le jwalo.
So I think drafting of this bill is still a waste of time,
Mme ke nahana hore ho drafta bill ena ke tshenyo ya nako fela,
because there's still not going to be any form of accountability.
hobane ho ntso sa tlo ba le batho ba jarang boikarabelo.
What I can propose is that,
Seo nka se sisinyang ke sena.
can you please make sure that the communities can hold the mining companies accountable?
Ke kopa le ke le fe setjhaba matla a hore ba jarise di-company tsena tsa merafo boikarabelo.
Because the DMRE is failing us.
Hobane lefapha lena ha le re sebeletse ho hang.
Other than that, I'm going to talk about the issue of economy.
Ka ntle ho mono ke tla bua ka taba ya moruo.
We know that the gas extraction is capital intensive.
Re a tseba hore ho tsetolla dikgase ke ntho e tlisang tjhelete e ngata.
So our people are not going to get employment.
Fela batho ba rona ha ba tlo thola mesebetsi.
And we know that these companies, the multinational companies,
Mme di-company tsena tsa matjhaba-tjhaba
they are good at tax avoidance.
di ntle haholo ka ho qoba ho lefa lekgetho.
So still economically, we are not going to benefit out of these projects.
Mme moruong re ntse re sa tlo una molemo wa letho hodima taba ena.
My proposal is that,
Tshisinyo ya ka ke ena.
can we please prioritize the local companies
Ke kopa le behe ka sehlohong di-company tsa mona hae
for local beneficiation?
bakeng sa ho beneficiate ha mona hae.
The last issue that I want to propose is that
Ntlha ya ho qetela,
we know that this gas extraction is going to contaminate our groundwater.
re a tseba hore ho tsetolla hona ha kgase ho tlo silafatsa metsi a rona.
And we already have an issue of water scarcity,
Mme re sentse re na le kgaello ya metsi kwano,
particularly in Machabeng.
haholoholo mane Matjhabeng.
Today we got the SMSs that say that the water is going to be closed from 7 to 5 every day.
Kajeno lena re se re thotse di-SMS tse re metsi a tlo kwalwa ho tloha ka hora ya bosupa ho fihlela ka hora ya bohlano letsatsi le leng le le leng.
So if the groundwater is contaminated,
Jwale haeba metsi a tswang fatshe a silafala,
it means that we are not going to be able to make the boreholes.
ho bolela hore re ke ra hlola re kgone ho etsa diboro tsena tsa metsi.
Thank you very much.
Ke a leboha.
No, thanks, Chair
Ke a dumedisa modulasetulo
and honorable members.
le ditho tse kgabane.
I think without taking away the inputs that has been made by mining communities and the civic movement,
Ntle le hore ke qhilele ka thoko ditshisinyo tse seng di itswe ke batho ba dulang dibakeng tsa merafo.
I think I will be failing if we don't comment on the current act, which is the Gas Act of 2001.
Re tla be re sa bue nnete ha re keke ra thoholetsa molao ona o seng o le teng hana jwale wa kgase wa 2001.
Because the same Gas Act is the one that is actually creating barriers that the communities have actually highlighted.
Ke ona molao ono o tlisang ditshita dinthong tseo setjhaba se seng se buile ka tsona.
Okay, I'm Pule Mlalenyane from Pule Mlalenyane Charitable Trust, which is
Ke Pula
NGO.
Mlalanyane ho Pula Mlalanyane Charitable Trust dealing NGO.
Chairperson, we are in support to amend the Gas Act of 2001.
Re tshehetsa ho tlisa diphetoho ho molao ona wa 2001.
Because as a country chairperson, we come from the historical past that is exclusive in nature,
Hobane re le naha re tswa nakong eo batho ba bang ba neng ba kotetswe ka thoko,
and non-innovative in its approaches,
mme ho ne ho sena ditsela tsa boiqapelo tse neng di ka sebediswa.
which the current bill seek to address.
Tsena e leng seo bili ena ya hana jwale e batlang ho se lokisa.
This country, Chair,
Naha ena
will not achieve its constitutional mandate,
e keke ya kgona ho phethahatsa maitemohelo a teng a molaotheo,
which is covered explicitly in the preamble of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa,
e
1996.
leng se hlahellang ketla peleng selelekeleng sa molaotheo wa Afrika.
I don't have
Borwa.
time, I will read the preamble so that people can compare it with what the amendment bill seek to
Ha
address.
ke na nako ke ne ke tla bala hore na molaotheo o reng le kgone ho utlwa hore na bili ena e mabapi le eng.
So the bill seek to do also just that by providing for cooperation between private and public sector and gas industry.
Bili ena e batla ho tlisa tshebedisano mmoho mareng a setjhaba le di-company tsa dikgase,
Because the current silo mentality is not good for the country.
hobane tshebetso ena ya hana jwale ya hore motho le motho a itshebeletse a le mong ha e tswele ke naha molemo.
We need more cooperation between private and public sector in gas industries.
Re batla tshebedisano mmoho e kgolo pakeng tsa private sector le mmuso le di-company tsa dikgase.
Lastly, Chair,
Ha ke qetela,
any country, being developed country or developing countries,
dinaha dife kapa dife tse seng di tswetse pele kapa tse ntseng di tswela pele,
cannot succeed if it has no compliance and monetary element in it.
di keke tsa tswela pele ha fela di sena hore na di ikamahanya jwang le molao.
And this bill then proposed that NESA must be given that particular role to ensure that those particular private sectors that are doing so are monitors and are in compliance with the laws of this country.
Mme bili ena e netefatsa hore di-company tsena di ikamahanye le molao wa naha ena.
I'll make a practical example because if you read the bill, it says it empowers NESA to play a critical role with regards to tariffs and price settings.
Ke tla etsa mohlala hobane bili ena e hlalosa hore NERSA e lokela ho bapala karolo ya bohlokwa bakeng sa di-pricing.
And members of the communities have been talking about industries that not having a common pricing.
Mme ditho tsa setjhaba di se di buile ka hore ha ba patale tjhelete e lekanang.
And the bill seek to address that.
Mme bili ena e batla ho lokisa taba eo.
The last element that members have been critical of, but
Ntlha
is
ya
also
bohlokwa-
covered in the proposed amendment.
Eo setjhaba se buileng ka yona e ntse e le teng ka hara tshisinyo ena.
It's on section 4G and 22B,
Ke section 4G and 22B,
which empower NESA to set, monitor and approve and regulate transmission, storage and distribution of tariffs.
e fang NERSA matla a ho hlokomela hore tsena tsohle di a phethahala.
Because this bill, Chair,
Hobane bili ena modulasetulo
it's in line with the transformation agenda of this country.
e tsamaisana le ho tlisa diphetoho naheng ena,
We therefore support the amended bill.
mme re a e tshehetsa ka hona.
Thank you.
Ke a leboha.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Ke a leboha modulasetulo
Honorable members.
le ditho tse kgabane.
Ke tlo kopa ho bua Sesotho.
I will talk in Sesotho.
Lebitso la ka ke Molefi McDonald Kgolokwane.
My name is Mulifi McDonald Kholokwane.
Ke tswa Botshabelo.
I'm from Botshabelo.
Ke kopa fela ho etsa tjena.
Let me quickly do this.
Ke nahana hore le hlokometse ke monyenyana dilemong.
As you are aware, I'm young.
Tsela e se re etsa dintho hana jwale ke ya the fourth industrial revolution.
The way that we do things presently is according to the fourth industrial revolution.
Document e re bileng le yona re bile le yona nakong e nyane.
We received this document in a short space of time.
And ho ya ka nna ke dumela hore ke tse ding tsa di-document tse e le hore re hloka nako e ngata hodima tsona.
And according to me, I think we need more time engaging in this document,
Haholo jwang ntshetsopeleng ya hana ya hao.
especially in the development of our country.
Ke dumellana le bili ena hore e amenduwe
I agree with the amendment of the bill
tlasa mabaka a latelang.
under the following reasons.
Access ya rona re le bana ba banyane ha iyo industry ya gas.
As youth, we don't have access to the gas industry,
Mostly race ena ya ma-Africa.
especially the black Africans.
Re na le batho be re ba bitsang di-imperialist.
We have people we call imperialists
Be le hore qetellong ya ditaba ba nkela country ya rona decision without consulting us.
who at the end of the day will take decisions on our behalf without consulting us.
Hana jwale country ya rona kapo continent ya rona ke tse ding tsa di-continent e le hore climate change or global warming e ntse ya e atafala hodima yona.
Presently in our continent, there's climate warming that is currently taking place.
Fela document ya rona ha e re fe hore na in a long run whatever amendment ya rona na ho tlo etsahalang in a long run.
So the document does not state what is going to happen in the long run.
Re kopa re maximizing entrance ya batjha industry.
Let us maximize the youth entrance in this industry.
We are running ntho re bitsang ke DH biochemical company currently.
We are running DA BMH company.
Ho re nkile almost 8 years hore re iphumane re na le a small regulating license.
It took us more or less 8 years to find ourselves having a license.
Ha o bobebe for CIPC hore ba bone hore na ha ba re fa certificate re wela ho kae.
It's not easy for the CPIC to award us a certificate and see where we fall.
Jwale re kopa ho etsa kgoeletso ho committee ya kopaneng kwana.
We therefore appeal to the committee.
If re batla country ya rona e be le tjhebelo pele le ntshetso pele.
If we want our country to develop,
Re kopa re starteng ka transparency.
let's start with being transparent.
Ha re ske ra hlotseng re etsetsa dintho re certain race or certain individuals ba benefit.
Let us not exclude other races.
Currently from the 15 to 22 no hona le this meeting at global funding.
From the 15th to the 22nd, there was a meeting about global.
E le hore ha o thola o mamela batho ba bang they will say ke meeting wa batho be e le hore they only take decisions for batho ba South Africa.
Where people would say that meeting was for people who take decisions.
So
for the
question e
rest of
ke
the country.
ipotsang yona hore na how to we are the future of the country mara decision be di nkwa ke di certain individuals.
So my question is, we are referred to as the future of the company, but in decision-making processes, we are not being considered.
Fela ha re fumane access.
And we don't have any access.
Re a kopa. Ke ne ke mametse letsatsing la kajeno hore Eskom e tlo batla ho tlisa ntho e ba e bitsang hore ke carbon tax.
I listened that Eskom is bringing something like carbon tax.
Ra ipotsa hona ke batho ba ba kae malapeng mo re dulang teng ba utlwisisa mofuta o wa language.
Ask ourselves how many people at the communities understand what that means.
Tswetswe re a kopa.
Please,
If le batla hore country ya rona e qetelletse e le one of the best jwalo ka re claima ho di investors.
if you want our country to be one of the best, as you claim it to be to the investors,
A ke le tleng le rona kapo le tle ho rona re le bana ba batjha. Also ya di university le kgona ho developa tsena le di batlang.
please consult the youth and also go to the universities.
Because bo mme le bo ntate ho sane tla be le siyo.
Because we are the future generation.
And hodima le siyo tse ding tsa dintho ha re tlo kgona ho di etsa.
And we will not be able to do some of the things.
Hana jwale rona re le batjha ba hana jwale re tshwana le ntho re bitsang a time ticking bomb generation.
Presently, we like a time-ticking bomb generation.
If parliament ya rona e sa etse hore e lokise tse ding tsa dintho tse etsahalang hana jwale.
If our parliament does not make right some of the things that are happening now,
Re tlo iphumana South Africa e le tse ding tsa di country tse nang le di young rebels.
we will find South Africa to be one of the countries with young rebels.
Ke a leboha.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Like I said,
Ke a leboha haholo, jwalo ka se ke hlalositse.
it's not for us to respond to your inputs.
Ha re na tlameho ya hore re a kapo ha re a lokela hore re arabelle ho ditshwaelo tsa lona.
But I think we will be disingenuous if we don't say we are quite impressed with your level of participation.
E tla be se bohlale ho tswa ho rona ha re re ka nnete ha re a hlokomela ho nka karolo ha lona.
Don't underestimate yourselves.
Se ken la ikgella fatshe.
Just few things, and can I leave you with a challenge? You are the only ones I'm leaving with this
Ke
challenge.
batla ho etsa qholotso mona ho lona.
Can you go back to your organizations?
Ke kopa le boele mekgatlong ya lona.
Any, whether political, whether what, can you go back?
Efe kapa efe hore ke ya dipolotiki kapa ke ya eng.
Just try and see whether, I don't know how. Let me pose this question to you.
E re ke le botse potso ena.
Is the parliamentary system that we are using correct or effective enough?
Ebe na tsela ya tsamaiso e re e latelang ya parlamente e
And
tshwanetse
is it
kapo
what suits us?
kapo ke se bang se molemong wa
I just want to leave you with that
ke batla
question.
ho le sia le potso eo.
I'm raising this thing because the more I go, I get this sense that the problem may not be what people are doing, but the parliamentary system that we have doesn't favor what we would want to see doing.
Ke botsa sena hobane seo ke se elelletsweng boholonyaneng ba ditulo tse rileng ho tsona ke hore ekare ho teng tsela e sa etsahaleng ka tshwanelo ho ya ka parlamente tsela e tshwantse e etse dintho ka yona.
For instance, I don't want to bore you. I'm sure some of you don't know that for a committee of parliament to meet, it must make an application to what is called a house chairperson. It must be approved by the house chairperson. It must have a starting and an ending time.
E le hore ha ke batle ho le senyetsa nako ke kopa ho le hlalosetsa sena hore haeba komiti ya parlamente e batla ho etsa kopano o lokela hore e etse kopo eo ho modulasetulo le dintlha tsohle tsa hore na kopano e tla qala ka nako efeng e felle ka nako efeng.
Whilst a minister can have a meeting at any given time, anywhere, without limitations.
Empa letona lona le ka ba le dikopano nako efe kapa efe kapo tulong efe kapa efe ntle le dikgino tse itseng.
But the reason at times is because, that's what I will always explain to people, a committee of parliament is constituted by different political parties.
Komiti ya parlamente e etswa ke ditho tsa mekgatlo e fapaneng.
And you find that some members belong to even 3 or 4 portfolio committees.
Mme ditho tse ding tsa komiti eo e ntse e le maloko a ditho tse ding tse ka bang 3 kapa tse 4.
So they have to juggle around those committees on different days at different times.
Ka ho he ba lokela ho ba be dikopanong tsa dikomiti tse fapafapaneng ka dinako tse fapafapaneng.
But one of the things after this public hearing, we were saying we have to now take into consideration
Engwe ya dintho tse re lokelang re di hlokomele ka mora sehla sena sa nonyo maikutlo
was whether when we have got public, and that's what the committee will have to discuss, but I think there's consensus, is that shouldn't we, when we have got public hearings, at the same time we have what is called a committee oversight.
re tshwantse re buisane hore na ebe ha re na le dikopano tsa nonyo maikutlo re tshwantse re etse hape mosebetsi wa komiti wa bolekudi.
A committee oversight would mean, like the gentleman who was raising an issue from Velcom, it means now we'll put the department here. You will say what is frustrating you, what is happening. They will answer.
Mosebetsi wa bolekudi o bolela hore re tla tlisa boemedi ba mafapha mona e le hore ha le phamisa dingongoreo tsa lona moemedi wa lefapha a di arabe hanghang.
It also means we can go and see if a person says, I'm just making an example, our houses here are cracking because of blasting. It means we can move and they take us there. That is an oversight.
Mehe ho bolela hore hape ke etsa mohlala haeba e mong wa lona a re matlo a rona a na le matlere ka baka la ho phatlolwa ha mobu tulong e itseng motho eo a nang le tletlebo re ka tswa mona ebe re ya mono re o netefatsa sena sa se buang.
But I don't want to bore you, just few things just for information. One, we don't choose venues.
Lesedi ke lena he ha re kgethe ditulo tseo re tshwarelang dikopano ho
We
tsona.
send a letter to the province.
Re lebisa lengolo provinceng,
to the legislature,
ho ketsa molao,
to the municipality.
ho masepala.
It is the municipality that would say, like Usis was saying, that 150. The letter would say we need a capacity of 150. Where that 150 is gonna, with that venue gonna be, only the municipality knows venues and owns venues.
Ke masepala fela a tsebang ka ditulo tseo ka etsetswang dikopano ho tsona le hore na di boholo bo bokae ho ka nka batho ba bakae.
But we must not feel bad that I've mobilized now people. It's better when people are there. That's why we said you can still, and I allow those one who did not come in, you can still write to the committee what you would have said if you had an opportunity to come in. I don't think we'll deliberate on those things so that when the committee meets and deliberates on this amendment, it will have some degree of an information that would not have been shared in this hearing.
Ausi aneng a kgothalletsa batho tla kopanong ena o lokela a ska itshwaya phoso kapa ikutlwela bohloko ka ho heletsa matshweletshwele hore a tle mona empa a tlo iphumana a sitwa ho kena mona ho ntso le teng le monyetla o mong wa hore batho ba ka etsa ditshwaelo tse ngotsweng fatshe mme ba di neha ba bo ngodi ba rona mona mme he ho tla ba le monyetla hore di seka sekwe ka boiketlo dintho tseo tse ngotsweng fatshe mme di elwe hloko.
We will share that opinion with all members of the committee so that they, if they feel like here, those who are talking here, if they feel that they agree with those things, they can use that information at their disposal.
Mme ditshwaelo tseo tse ngotsweng fatshe komiti ena kaofela re le ditho re tla di sekaseka mme ha re bona bohlokwa ba hore re di sebedise re tla bela re abelana hore re dumellana ka sena.
I must also say, I give you this latitude without consulting with my committee members. I give you this latitude that those who might have come here, now they feel that we have got more information and we have got more knowledge. We can write to the committee and say, in as much as I was present, in as much as I spoke in the meeting, but now with more inputs that I received or I heard, I want to appeal to members of the committee that as they deliberate, can they consider also these views that I want to express? Those members, it will be up to them to utilize that information, but we will give them.
Re le fa monyetla hape ditho kapo tsa setjhaba tse teng mona tse nang le tsebo kapo tlhahiso leseding e tomanyana e le ka batlang ho e abelana le rona hore le tlisetseo ka pele e le hore re kgone hore re di ele hloko e be re abelana ka tsona.
Lastly, unfortunately, like I said, it's us who make an application. We get the request, it's approved, it's disapproved, for us to go and conduct public hearings. I know it's impossible that we can do every area or district we wish we can do so. By the way, those who don't know, I always say the budget that is allocated, that's why I said go and discuss, the budget that is allocated to Parliament as a whole, including the NCOP, is the smallest, if I'm not mistaken, is the smallest budget compared to a department. The ones that you must do an oversight. So you can see that there is even a challenge there.
Engwe ntho e ke batlang ho tshwaela ka yona mona ko jwalo ka se ke hlalositse ka pejana re le komiti re etsa kopo ha re batla ho etsa kopano e tshwanang le ena mme parlamente ina le dikgino tse itseng tsa hore re keke ba ba hohle hobane re na le dikabelo tsa ditjhelete tse fokolang haholo mme ke lefapha le nang le kabelo e tomanyana.
KZN, where I'm from, I can assure you, KZN has got 11 districts if you include the metro.
KZN mo ke tswang teng ina le di district tse 11 ha o
But we only
kenyeletsa le
did 3
metro.
because we could be allowed to do 3.
Empa re ile ditrekeng tse tharo ba ne re dumelletse ho etsa ditrek tse tharo.
We so wish we could do exactly like you say. Unfortunately, some of the things were a committee which is the same like any other committee of Parliament.
Ha re ne re ithatela re ne re ka ya hohle empa ne re tsamaya tlasa dipehelo le dikgino tse itseng tse re kekeng ra di feta.
Like I said, I won't respond on your inputs because those your own inputs that I will take, even the questions that relate to the proposed amendment, we will take those questions as if they say when you deliberate, consider this and find an answer to this question that we have asked to you as a committee. Otherwise, if I give you answers, I'll be giving you my answers, not answers of a committee, because the committee has not deliberated on the proposed amendments.
Ditshwaelo tsohle tse le di beileng mona re tla di sekaseka re le komiti nkeke ka lefa dikarabo jwalo ka motho a le mong empa re lokela wa dula fatshe ebe re a di sekaseka ebe re fihlela qeto ya rona kaofela.
Again, where there have been mistakes or mishap, please accept our apologies. Some things are beyond even our own capacity or our own comprehension.
Ho feta moo ke kopa tshwarelo ka hore haeba ho le teng mo re le foseditseng teng tse ding dintho di ka nkane ho taolo ya rona mme he ka ho ke reng re kopa tshwarelo mo re le foseditseng teng.
Lastly, what will happen now is that from here, when we are done with the public hearings, we will then compile a report for each provinces we have gone to. That report will have to be adopted by the committee if it agrees that it is a true reflection of what had taken place in those public hearings.
Mme ha ke phethela re tla etsa ditlaleho tsa di province tsohle tseo re di etetseng ebe re a di sekaseka ebe komiti yona e dumellana ka dintho tse itseng tseo re tla be re dumellane ka tsona re le bona ho le bohlokwa hore re dumellane ka tsona ebe re ke ena he tlaleho e re ananelang ho tsohle dinonyo maikutlo tse re ileng ho tsona di provinceng.
Then the committee will deliberate on the proposed amendment informed by the report of all the provinces we have visited.
Ebe ho sekasekwa dinonyo maikutlo tse di tlalehong tsohle tse di provinceng tseo re di etetseng.
Then it will make recommendations that will be referred to the National Assembly for a debate.
Ebe ho etswa dikgothaletso ho leba ho National Assembly bakeng sa ho a etsa dingangisano.
The committee may agree with the amendment, it may disagree with the amendment, or the committee may not get what is called consensus on the amendment. It will mean then the committee amongst itself on the recommendation will go for a vote.
Re tla etsa dikgothaletso tse re ka dumellanang ka tsona kapa re se ke ra dumellana ka tsona mme sephetho e tla ba ho voutela se re dumellanang ka tsona.
Again, if in the National Assembly there is no agreement, it will also go to a vote.
Haeba National Assembly isa dumellane ho tla tswela pele ho etswe di vote tse ding hape.
If it is passed whether by vote or by consensus, it will then be referred to the National Council of Provinces.
Haeba ho dumellanwa ka tsohle kapa e tla fetisetswa ho NCOP.
Then the NCOP will undertake its own process, which could include, they've got what is called the Select Committee, which could include conducting their own public hearings.
NCOP ka Select Committee ya yona le bona ke bona ba tla iketsetsa qeto hore na ba etsa mosebetsi o ka reng ona wa bolekudi ka bo bona.
Again, thank you very much, Bloemfontein. The meeting stands adjourned.
Ke a leboha Bloemfontein, kopano e kwetswe.